So, I mean, before we get into some of the more exciting like things that we have planned to like really kind of reveal what we've been doing in the background to
Yeah.
alleviate some of these issues and really fix them. I mean, in hindsight, what would you have done differently? The past, I guess, 3 months, March to pretty much June, where really it seemed like to the community where things fell apart, and this backtracks
Yeah.
6 to 8 months beyond
100%.
that.
Yeah.
But the move is really, and I
Yeah.
think it's hard to process for some people. It's just that you have 6 of 8 months of you don't realize what's going on in the background, and then we get the opportunity to jump, and we know that's going to be the best choice. It's the hardest choice, but we made the hardest choice for a
Yeah.
better future.
Yeah, I mean,
But it
if
was
we
rocky.
yeah, yeah, if we would've got acquired by a printer that was, like, already printing books and, like, stuff like that, that would have been a different situation, right?
Yeah.
But we were already behind. We had this move, which again, it's an immense amount of work and stuff that's, prioritized
Because you
differently.
shrunk and you lost so much, but
Yeah,
like the company was growing,
yeah, yeah.
flourishing, probably.
Yeah,
You
we
know what I
kinda
mean?
did this weird. I mean, I there's so many more different avenues that could have happened that probably would have worked out better, uh, if things lined up properly. Again, though, it's almost like things move so fast. You have lightning quick decision making to do. I mean, of course, if I owned it from the get-go, like, I mean, if I again, I can't speak onto the old owners on like where they stood on where they wanted this. I just don't feel like maybe it's like you have to have an owner that's passionate about the craft in itself to make these kind of decisions. Maybe they didn't want a part of it anymore. Maybe it was too much. Maybe the growth was too much. I don't know, but I know from the get go, I probably if things I would have done different. I mean, I probably would have geared everyone if I would have known the full narrative to what was going down and all the details and from the very beginning. I probably
'Cause a
would have
lot was revealed post acquisition, a
yeah,
lot.
so I would have poured a lot more time and effort into prepping the community and honestly just prepping the stakeholders in the fact of like we're going to take a huge hit here and that's fine. We'll bounce back as long as we stick to our core values. Uh, but taking the huge hit and the one thing about entrepreneurs and owners, they don't want that. They don't want to take that huge hit. They don't want to because it's like they want to keep seeing numbers, either stay comfortably or grow, right? So it's like it's
Mhm.
hard for owners and stakeholders and investors and all that stuff to like know that sometimes you have to take a step back to reacclimate and readjust yourself to move to pivot or to move forward with even more force, right?
Mhm.
For more momentum. So I felt like maybe some of the things we're like frantically trying to do now or the last couple of weeks should have been done, last year, honestly, or like 8 months
Yeah.
ago. But who can predict these kind of things? You do
It's
honestly, we don't.
life.
Right,
How do you predict
exactly. You
life,
can't predict the things. I feel like examining again, I'm also learning on how to be the best leader, not just be a leader in general, but to be the best leader for this specific situation, for this specific brand and the specific team. And that in itself is a learning curve for sure. And part of that is this this notion of like take off your entrepreneur owner hat and put on like a father hat or like a family member hat and say sometimes like the hardest truths are definitely going to be better in the long run for you guys if you just can
Mhm.
work those out and be transparent on. And I feel like maybe we could have done that better at the get-go, of course, to just really be open and let everyone solve these problems with an open mind, and know that financially we're gonna take a hit. We're gonna take a hit. We took one anyway, so it's like we're gonna take a hit and just restructure it, refocus, and do it better, and set yourself up properly. But again, in the situation, it's like a dogfight. You don't know when the next swing is coming. You don't know what next move you got to do. I mean, you're going to make that's going to be best for the long term and the short term. So we did what we did, and basically we're just piecing everything back together. Uh, I I know some customers that have been long customers have left us, but I know for sure in my heart that with the team that we have now and the dedication for Resolve is we're going to win the hearts and souls, hearts and creativity back
Mhm.
from a lot of our community. We're going to, because not only do we know what the importance of the quality and speed and turnaround and what the positioning is for of the creator, the business owner themselves, it's just we have a bigger mission in mind. I mean, we want to see this industry grow. We want to see more people create comic books. I mean, that's a personal mission too. I
Yeah,
mean,
100%.
I know so many people who, I mean, myself, I have so many comic books in my head, right? And I just know it, that I want to bring them to life. I want to do this, but there's a lot of hurdles, a lot of things in the way, of course. But relating that to like our customer base and potential customer base, like seeing this industry flourish how it is, and then saying that you are a piece of a brand that can really help bring that to the next level is something so extraordinary. So I mean, it's definitely there. Um, I know I kind of veered away from I
No,
think
no,
the
that's
topic, but
that's great because it's like, we had so much is happening at once. And we're, at the beginning of the conversation, we're talking about balance. Like, how do you
yeah,
balance, life, family, work, projects, businesses, and then still be able to like, put that in a PR package and deliver it to the
right,
community? You know what I mean? Like
right,
by the
right,
time
yeah,
I feel like so many people will relate in the sense of like, every Monday, for example, I start work. If I do start work on a Monday, typically it's a Sunday, but if I start
right,
my week
right.
off,
I know.
it's I write a list, and my Monday list, I'm like, okay, this is everything I want to accomplish today. And at the end of the day, I've either accomplished nothing on that list because so much has popped up by the time I start work
You got
at the
another
end of the
list?
day. Yeah, I have another list. And that Monday list turns into my week list,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
everything I thought up of on Monday, it takes me that whole week to execute.
yep,
And those are lessons you learn as you do stuff and as you restructure. I mean, for example, I mean, just in general, at the beginning of April, I moved into a new place, and everybody was like, "Oh man, one of the hardest things you could do in life is moving into a new house, and all this stuff, everything that comes with it, the stress, the adjusting to a new place to sleep, and unpacking and repacking your stuff, dealing with the animals, and some people, in some instances, kids." People are talking
yeah,
about that about me moving 2 blocks up the street from where I was at. And I mean, imagine that stress and all of that you just talked about for an entire company that we
yeah,
just did. Those are things you don't really take in mind or reflect on until after it's happened, where it's like, what? We did just do one of the craziest, hardest things in life. And that was moving and
yeah.
readjusting. And, and we affected what, 15 people's lives just right off the bat, because
Yeah,
that's about the
immediately.
size of our crew.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, it's difficult. And we would, have conversations before I became, officially part of the team, full time. And it was just one of those things. We're just brainstorming and seeing how we could tackle it. But like, there's only so many hours in the day.
yeah,
So many people are reaching out. So many people are, we have so much on our minds that we're trying to accomplish. We just did it piece by piece as we could.
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
difficult. And this is
It
why we
is.
have this episode, is to
Yeah,
really come forward and be like, I know it's been a crazy couple of months, but like in relatively 3, 4, 6 months of a business kind of struggling
yeah,
versus years of a bright future that we're planning ahead of us, it's
yes,
like
yeah,
that's the growing pain we're talking about,
yeah, 100%. And I am totally, I'm accepting, and the owners, they, that's kind of my job. Like I just gotta, I'm accepting the fact that yeah, we're gonna have to take a step back, fix things, and do things right if we want to take 5 steps forward.
Bring your comic books to life and print your comics with Comix Wellspring.